Huh? Stop computer. Oh my god. My headset. Yo, I'm so sorry. It's so ghetto right now. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Hold on. Wolverine. Okay, let's turn the TV on. Just a little bit.
Act as if witches are supernatural beings.
No need to listen to that. Okay, so I was sitting there thinking out loud, right? Just talking to myself. And I was just noticing I don't know how long this video gonna be, but I just thought, like, why not make it a thought, right? I probably could put the camera on me. But then again, you probably wouldn't see me no way. But then again, I'm camera shy. So, I might just end up throwing up some images. We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But, you have, um, computer, what are you doing? Oh, Spotify just opened up and my Microsoft Firefox opened up. Oh my god. Y'all see that? It did it by itself, y'all. I didn't click on nothing. What's up here? Make sure no porn. Should I throw some images? What kind of images would I even throw up? Give me a second. I think this is a pretty solid example of what I'm about to talk about. Okay, so what I'm about to talk about real quick, what I was just talking out loud was, and I'm not really supposed to be making more videos because by the time I'm making this video, this is probably like technically video number 25, but I've uploaded some videos, so now I'll say it's probably video number 22. Y'all, I have 22 videos I have not uploaded yet. Including this video will make 22 by the time I'm talking. That's how much I'm behind on uploading videos, which I'm about to upload some videos today. But I think I'm going to go ahead and upload this one because I don't have to edit this one. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this one real quick, get it out the way, and then probably end up editing two more videos because they shouldn't take too long editing. It's more so just waiting for them to upload and waiting for them to upload to YouTube and upload to my computer so I can download it and then upload it to YouTube. That's a long story. Anyways, oh, and I found out that I have new editing software built into this computer that I can try. So I'm gonna have to try that. But anyways, sorry y'all. Side note. Oh, light rain with 46% Fahrenheit. Okay. It's currently 1/14/2026, 8:48. Pum. And I was sitting here thinking out loud. And I want to start just talking my thoughts out loud on the computer. So because that's what I've realized, that's probably what's best, and I've been called to do that. So I was thinking about dark families and light families, right? And I was thinking about how people who are more so of the light polarity, right? And no polarity is good or bad. People who have the light polarity, I've noticed as far as like Earth goes, I don't know about higher realms. I don't know. So I'm just gonna keep it on Earth. As far as the Earth realm goes, I know there's a lot of people that's of the light polarity. They try to convert people of the dark polarity. When you do that, you have a complete misunderstanding of the dark and light, and you have a complete misunderstanding of yourself and imagination and the dream as a whole. So I was using two families as an example because they represent yin and yang. So you have one family, and within each family, excuse me, dynamic, right? Within everything in life, right? It doesn't even have to be evilness and goodness. It could be joy. It can be anger. It can be lust or love, or it can be food. It can be anything. Video games. Humans, right? Everything is a spectrum. And on that spectrum, you naturally have extremes, right? So, the extreme of light and dark, where the extreme of light would be trying to convert the darkness, right? And telling the darkness, you're wrong, you're bad, you're not this, God will never love you because you're not light, you're not me. But how can you say God is saying that when God is everything and all things? God is pure imagination, aka what some people call source. I call pure imagination. I call that my sibling. And I call the void true imagination, right? And how can you say God is all this and all that if you understand the God? Go back to my video where I talk about Hecate and Source, right? It's titled Source and Hecate are twins. Let me just show you real quick. Boom. Right down here to the far right, on the second row to the far right, Hecate and Source are twins. There, I talk about. Go check my other videos out too. I got on here, like especially this Darkness and Light. This is a really good video. And oh, I got some uploads from Glorfin from 3 Eye Atlas if y'all want to watch that too. I talk about You Are Dark and That's Okay. There is no gay agenda. It's about nature. Oh my god, that is a good video. Y'all really need to watch it. And I have a reaction to it. There's a reaction video in there too as well. It's kind of related, more so like kind of like loosely, midly related to the main topic. But it was just I just wanted to react to it. I don't know. I didn't just I don't know. I didn't want to give it the reaction video its own thing, which I probably should have because it made the video an hour long. But anyways, doesn't matter. Shut the fuck up. And my Satanist, what Satanism means to me, um, this video is really good too. So y'all should go check that out as well. But going to the video, right? So you have actually let me go right here. So you have light, right? So the extreme of light is telling the darkness that it's wrong, it's bad, it's terrible. How can that be when light has darkness in it, right? And for darkness, the extreme of darkness is trying to suppress and snuff out the light. But how can that be? Oh, and telling the light that it's weak, it's all this. But how can it be when the darkness has light in it, right? And this goes back to yin and yang, right? And Hecate and Source being twins, right? Okay, so you have two families, right? You have a family of light, which is like ideal family of light would be Superman, right? Boy, big boy blue. And a family of darkness would be Raven, right? Evil. Her father is literally, if you go to the comics or look up Trigon's history, her father is literally, absolutely made of pure evil, right? Pure evil. Ironically, that doesn't make him bad or good. Everything in the cosmos is neutral, but that doesn't make him bad or good because when you're pure, you're honestly at your truest, right? Pure is another way of saying truest, right? There is no I'm better or you're worse. It's no. You can have somebody who's pure authentic. You can have somebody who's pure optimistic. Somebody who pure has pure compassion. Somebody who has a pure imagination, right? Which means they're not bound by any limitations. That's what pure really means, y'all. Not bound by any limitations. It doesn't mean light. It doesn't mean God. It doesn't mean Hecate. It doesn't mean this or that. It doesn't mean bad. It doesn't mean better. It doesn't mean superior. It doesn't mean higher. It doesn't mean lower. It doesn't mean anything other than unbound potential. Absolutely unbound potential, right? No matter what kind of pure it is. So, because you also have beings of pure light or pure goodness, right? That doesn't make them better than beings that are pure evil or pure darkness, right? Because all is a part of nature at the end of the day. All is nature. Um, Pure imagination, right? So you have two families. You got the light family, right? Let me go to the light family. I want to talk to the light family again. So you have the light family, right? Let's say they raise their family up. They find the perfect love, right? And they plan on being with them forever, right? So boom. In a light family, they got their partners. It doesn't matter which sexuality or gender they are or how they identify. They have their partners of pure light and pure goodness, right? The good guys, right? Or the good girls, or the good people, right? The good ones. The heroes. So you have the light family, right? And like I said, there's even within light and darkness there are levels and everything is a spectrum. So and there's always nuance to the darkness to light, to evilness to chaos, to everything. There's nuance to everything, right? So, um, the light, right? They have their partner. They have, and I'm honestly kind of talking about it in an extreme way too. Like you might just have one single partner for the rest of your life. You might have a few kids, maybe a dog, right? And even in, like I said, there are levels to the light, light's a spectrum. So literally, light's a spectrum. If you look up DC Comics, the Lantern Corps, let me just show you.
You'll get it.
Light is a complete spectrum. This is the light spectrum, and these aren't even all the colors of light, by the way. But you have all types of colors of light. And within light, you have rage, you have greed, you have fear, you have life, you have will, you have death, you have love, you have mercy, you have hope, etc. Ultraviolet, and even in the darkness, you essentially have very similar things. But I would go so far as to say, like, I would kind of invert some of these because you always need a polarity, right? So if I had to like invert these, um, I would say you probably have decay as death, or you probably have despair, or something like a death that is really like wicked and twisted. Rage could be like wrath. Greed could be avarice. Of course, you can keep fear. Life can be hopelessness. Love can be lust. Mercy can be what is it? What is that? What is the opposite of mercy? Um, unjust mercy. That's not the word I'm looking for. The opposite of mercy is what is it called? I really forgot it. I'm thinking about the tree of life. Um, but yeah, hope can be hopelessness. Life can be whatever, right? You get what I'm saying, though. Like everything has its spectrum, everything has opposites, right? And neither one is good or bad. Ironically, that's the paradox in everything. Like I said before, everything is convoluted. The more you go up, the more you go down. The only difference is when you go down, you're only able to see how convoluted everything is. How everything is just, it does, how everything is like a big conglomerate. Everything is like mashed potatoes. It's just so smushed together. You can't even see the ingredients. Even if you go down, you might think you can see the ingredients of this mashed potatoes, but you realize you are the mashed potatoes. You are the ingredients operating inside the mashed potatoes. So there's no, so this is what I say is convoluted. Just because it's like I said before, you take ingredients into a cake. The the only difference is on the lower levels, you can see the ingredients inside the cake, but the ingredients are still making up the cake and or still are the cake. It's not separate, right? And at the highest level, you're just able to see the cake for what it is, the whole cake, right? Nothing is really separate, right? But you still understand the ingredients that make you up. Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't confusing. That now it just popped in my head. So I was like, why not use it, right? Mashed potatoes. We're all just mashed potatoes. Um, get over it. Nothing you can do about it. I'm gonna fuck you if you like mashed potatoes, bitch. Not about you. But anyways, so you have like the light, right? And at first I was talking about it in an extreme way, but honestly, it can be applied either way. And what I was about to say was real quick. I know I'm jumping all over the place. Forgive me. I have ADHD, so that's ADHD plus autism. So forgive me. So on the light side, right? Like I said, you got the nice greenhouse gas. You got everything's wind power, electricity. You teach your family. You raise your kids up right. You teach your family just loyalty, honor, respect, right? And you teach them how to be kind and all that stuff, right? And the extreme of the light can be very sterile, right? Very restricting, right? So you can teach them to act this way, or God may not love you, or if you act this way, some higher being will judge you, or you will be judged by your family. They honestly teach shame as well. They teach you to act absolutely in an orderly fashion. If you break the laws even once, I don't care if you were stealing food to help the homeless. No, right? Like I said, that's it. That's the extreme of the light, right? That's not the entire light because everything is a spectrum. Everything has layers and levels, like an onion. Shout out to Shrek. He taught me that. Um, they have layers. I'm an ogre. We have layers. I'm like an onion. We have layers. Sorry, I was trying to figure out how he said it. Anyways, so the extreme would be, like I said, they teach shame and they honestly teach judgment and fear, right? Because light has darkness in it too, right? And there's levels to the light in the spectrum. So at the extreme, and a good example would be Christianity, right? And this is no way me bagging on Christianity. Actually, let me rephrase. Technically, this would be like a very intense religion, right? Where they have you believe in one thing or else. There is no other way of believing. And that's the extreme version of light. And then I was saying the dark, right? An extreme version of the dark would be restrictive too. They'll teach you shade if you show love or you show kindness or you show light or compassion. They will judge you. They will disown you. They will abuse you. Both light and dark at the extreme are abusive. There's no way around it. They're both abusive, but how they go about it will be a little differently. But it's actually very similar. Just like how I'm mentioning now, right? Instead of there being a higher God judging you, it's the darkness would make you feel less than because there's an episode in Power Ranger Space where there's this B org, right? And they wanted to be good, but you know the orgs are considered the bad guys, right? And they say orgs don't have a heart, right? And but this org does have a heart, and they don't want to hurt anybody. So in that episode, the bad guys are forcing and manipulating and abusing, physically, literally abusing this org. Yeah, the episode is actually really dark. Actually, let me look that up for y'all so y'all can go watch it. Okay, yeah. Power Rangers in Space. It's called the Wasp with the Heart, right? So this little motherfucker right here was getting abused by the villains because, and this is how when darkness is operating at its extreme, right? But keep in mind, nothing is good or bad. This is just nature, how things work, right? Everything is a spectrum. The spectrum is source, Hecate, the void, right? And if they are the spectrum, you cannot you cannot call yourself whole or complete if you cut yourself off from the spectrum. If you cut off certain aspects of the spectrum, you would not be considered source. You wouldn't be considered pure imagination. You wouldn't be considered true imagination. You wouldn't be considered Hecate. You wouldn't be considered whoever you worship, right? Because weakness is when you cut yourself off thinking you're whole. That's true weakness, right? So you can't call yourself everything and all things if you disown and disregard that, right? So keep in mind, this isn't bad or good. This is just how nature plays out. This is how the spectrum plays itself out, right? You can't experience if you're everything and all things, you have to be everything and all things, right? With full, unconditional, compassionate love and wisdom, and you have and yeah, whatever. Sorry, I'm adjusting myself and I'm kind of uncomfortable, but we're gonna try to push through. So they were shaming this org because they had a heart, right? Because they didn't want to hurt people. They actually want to help people. And there was no God, but they weren't using like any like higher power that would cast them down, or they wouldn't try to put like an egregore into a higher being to keep everybody in line. What they would do is straight up, they're more direct, right? They will straight up abuse you, right? Straight up abuse you, make fun of you, shame you, humiliate you. See, the villains, and this is all like the darkness too. The evil spectrum is not real. Like, they are so unserious because they will bully you for being nice, right? When you think about it, that's crazy. They will bully you for like the craziest shit and they will abuse you for the simplest of shit, right? Because they want you to be cruel, right? And girl, they are extremists for sure. Um, but yeah, they making fun of this B. Haha. Oh, you want to be nice? I'm gonna show you nice. Anyways, that's the extreme of darkness, right? And one thing that I realized was like people who are of families that are like super dark, right? They might have drugs and guns and sex and porn everywhere, right? And abuse all throughout the house. And the people who aren't supposed to be of that alignment tend to go to the absolute extreme. Of course, there's nuance. Sometimes they don't go to the absolute extreme, but a lot of times those people go to the they go to the absolute extreme of light. So those people that were in those dark households, right? Those extreme dark households, they'll go to the extreme light, right? And completely do what they can to renounce that darkness. And you can't blame them. I mean, it is what it is. You can only respect it. Because that's their journey, right? They've experienced a lot. So to them, they experience one extreme. So for them to balance out consciously and to evolve, they need to go to another extreme. They may not evolve fully in this life. They still might need several more lifetimes to fully evolve. Doesn't matter. We all meet the same thing. But they'll go to the extreme of the light. And then I was thinking, people who are extremely traumatized by the light will go extremely to the darkness. We all see this all the time, right? I can't tell you how many times I've seen, heard, and followed people. Let me adjust myself. Yo, I just ate, right? But it's like I'm kind of bloated now. Well, I'm not bloated. I'm like stuffed or kind of like, ooh, a little too much. I gotta fix my bed. And now it's like no matter how I sit in my bed, I'm uncomfortable, bro. Why don't you just stand up? Let me just stand up. Sorry, I'll give me like 2 seconds. I know. I'm professional. I'm professional. I know. But yeah, I'm not getting paid for it, so it don't matter. What you gonna do about it? Beat me up? Let me stop talking shit. Um, I'm just gonna sit to my computer on my bed and just talk to y'all. Just give me 1 second. Um, okay, I feel better. Uh, American Next Top Supermodel. Okay, so um, like I said, you have to. I've heard and seen and followed so many people say like they became a Satanist or they became a witch or they became an atheist, right? To completely just relinquish their religious trauma. Well, I gotta pee, I think. Hold up. So, y'all, a little TMI. I took a poopy. It helped a little bit, but I ended up taking some Pepto Bismol because it's just gas. And it's probably my fault. It's probably coming back to me because I did have milk earlier and I'm lactose intolerant. But I didn't have a lot of milk. I really didn't even have a full cup. It was probably just like a swallow, just like one little gulp of milk. But I didn't start feeling like this until I ate what I had just a minute ago before I came on here. I was kind of bloated too. It could have been the soda as well, actually. I don't know. But it's in Pepto Bismol, so I'm trying to make this quick. This gas better flow through me though. But oh, let me get off the screen. Sorry. But as I was saying, surprisingly, I remember what I was about to say. Usually that doesn't happen. So you have like what I've noticed is when you go to those extremes, um, like the light people, light being like super religious, or just people who have like these super indoctrinating beliefs, right? They end up going to like the complete opposite, whether that be Satanism or atheism or some type of dark occultism, right? And then you have people who are of the dark alignment. They tend to completely go to the light alignment, right? And oh, I think it's already working, y'all. Excuse me. And that right there is symbolism in and of itself, and it reflects a great cosmic truth, right? And what that truth is that in the light there is darkness. In the darkness there is light. Yin and yang. The darkness, people who are traumatized by light go to the darkness. People who are traumatized by darkness go to the light. And of course, you got everybody in between that might not be traumatized at all, or might not have that much trauma when it comes to that. And you got all types of other alignments within between it and outside of that, right? So I think that's so interesting because going back into these families scenarios that I didn't fucking finish. Um, so we talked about the light side, right? Like I said, they're super greenhouse gas. They plant their food. They love they they're their family might not smoke or do any type of like aphrodisiacs or mind altering natural herbs. They might not do any of that. Like I said, there's a spectrum though because some light families do. might do natural herbs, right? And teas and all that stuff that helps get them in a certain state of mind or consciousness, whether that being just to relax or during a meditation, a ceremony, or ritual, whatever, right? But um, I'm just using like a kind of like the typical example, just so you can understand what I'm talking about. Because like I said, there's always nuance. Everything's a spectrum, right? There's levels and layers, and everything's convoluted. So, like I said, they don't do drugs in the lighthouse. They watch, they probably don't watch TV, or if they do, they only watch positive, uplifting TV. And you know what I'm saying? They eat the healthiest of things. Everything's all natural. It might be vegan or vegetarian. Even if there are meat eaters, everything is natural, right? It's healthy. There's no added chemicals and stuff like that. They probably bless their food a lot. Talk about the glory of source. They talk about light. Keep thing love and light. Keep thing light and peace. Peace and light. You know what I'm saying? Peace and love type shit. And stuff like that, right? And the darkness actually can do this too. And this is why I say it gets convoluted because darkness can actually do the exact same thing as this light, right? But still be dark beings and understand that they're dark beings or whatever, right? But now going to the dark side, you might end up having like, let's just say an example, right? To keep things simple so you can see the picture. Your family might be the mafia. So they might smuggle drugs, deal drugs. They might have a sex operation. Their kids might be allowed to do drugs. They got guns in the house, teach them how to shoot with guns, how to create poisons, do dark magic, um, having all types of dark spirits throughout the house. Got, dark beings such as lycans. That's werewolves. You might have lycans in the house. You might have vampires. You might have underworld creatures, right? Demons and stuff like that, right? Like I said, the family probably doing drugs and sex rituals, like I said, porn all throughout the house. Probably you have nudity going everywhere, etc. Right? Like I say, some of these things can be done by the light too, like nudity, sex, being a naturalist, so being okay with your family being okay with their naked body and teaching them to be okay with your naked body and their naked body and everybody's naked in the house, and they might not have guns on the light side necessarily, but you know what I'm saying? Like they both can play into each other, even if they are extreme. So what I find funny, because I made a video talking about this a little bit. Honestly, it wasn't a little bit, it was actually a lot of it. So, oh my God, the Dark Family. I forgot about Dark Family. Oh, Dark Family might also have some level, some like, they might be more intense, right? They might be abusive, but it might not they might be abusive, but that might not necessarily traumatize the family because the family, you know how you have some families where you go into their household, everybody is so polite to each other and they're like kind. They might not joke too much with each other, and if they do, it'll be like very light jokes, right? And then you got some families that'll cuss each other out, always roasting each other, always, shading each other, always gagging each other, always just like messing with each other, right? Or they might always be fighting, etc. But they're still family and they still love each other and nobody's traumatized, right? So we understand those family dynamics, right? And who am I or who are you to say that that family is wrong? Like just because they're darker, right? They might be very mean to each other. They might be even abusive to each other. They might even, like I said, talk a lot of shit and stuff like that. The jokes can be very harsh and mean. Right? And let me say this real quick. This is a cultural thing. I've noticed that some cultures, right? Um, they're the way their family dynamic is, they just like to roast each other. They're kind of mean to each other. They might end up being like physical, like always roughhousing and stuff like that, right? And that's normal for their family, right? That's their culture. And I've seen other cultures where like if you do that, the person might think you're mean. They might cry. They might not want to be your friend anymore. They probably think you're just this degenerate, awful person. And it's like, wait, what? It's a culture shock. If y'all seen other cultures, right? And I'm not trying to put any culture on blast, but like in certain cultures and communities, roasting and joking, like I'm just gonna say it because this applies obviously to my culture as well and my friend group and just people that I know, right? Black people. So you have black people who, not all of them. I'm just saying, like as a group, we shade each other. We're very shady. We roast. We joke a lot. We can be very mean to each other. Like, and I've had friends where like that weren't black, and we were all hanging out, and I was hanging out obviously with my black friends, whatever. And you know, like they can be mean to each other. I put mean loosely in air quotes because what's mean to one might not be mean to other. But they roast, they can be very, coarse with their words and they might cuss a lot too. And I've had friends where they're like they didn't know how to respond to that, seeing that because they've never seen or experienced something like that before. They thought people were being mean. And I've had experience like that too when I would like, roast or shade people or like quote unquote joke and be coarse. And I've had to understand, it was a culture shock for me because I had to understand, like, oh shit, everybody doesn't do this in their household and everybody does not get it. Like, you have people that don't get that type of shit. They're like, or never experienced it. And it's like, oh shit, they really think I hate them because I had people thinking that I hated them or like I was jealous of them or what was it, being aggressive. I'm like, but that's how that culture operates, right? They don't operate they don't operate in a joking or an aggressive or in a roasting manner, right? So when you operate like that, they think like, oh shit, what the fuck? Y'all mean to each other. Cause me and my best bitch, right? We be saying the most rude shit to each other. But there's no hate there, right? It's just all love. But we realize when we have other friends and we do it to each other, they think we're being mean, or even when we try to do it to them, they wouldn't get it. And they would like kind of be upset. So it's like, oh shit, yeah. So we had to learn like, oh crap, everybody don't do this stuff, right? And that doesn't make it wrong or bad. It's just every relationship is different for everybody. It doesn't matter if it's familial or not. Every relationship somebody has with something or someone or with themselves is different, right? As a collective, as a community, as a tribe, and as an individual, right? So, who are you to say, like, just because they have guns and drugs and they smoke drugs and they're in the mob and they have porn everywhere, right? And they teach their kids, like, um Satanism or dark magic and stuff like that, right? Who are you to say that that's wrong or bad? What if that's just right for them? And who would they be to say your life of being a goody goody or being more light and you might not really participate in natural herbs? You might only participate in natural herbs. Who are they to say, oh, you're weak, you're this, you can't handle the real shit, huh, King? How about you, um, not shoot a gun or like saying they're weak because they don't do like dark magic or like their magic is weak because it's light and stuff like that, right? No one side can say what's good for the other side, right? And this applies. That's why I'm showing Raven because her family's fucked. Her siblings tried to kill her. Her dad is emotionally, mentally, and physically abusive to her just so he can turn her into the Dark Wing Queen, an evil avatar, right? So she can be along. He really wants her to be alongside him to rule the cosmos, but she don't want to do that, right? But at the same time, she still loves her dad, and she's still dark. She's literally still a demon. She's half demon, but she's still literally a demon, right? And she does very dark magic. She's a very dark being. But she doesn't want to be like her dad, right? She doesn't want to spread pure evil. And that's what's right for her. And this is why I say it gets convoluted and you have dynamics within dynamics, right? So you have that dark family alignment, but within that dark family alignment, you might have somebody who just doesn't want to be around all of that, but they still love their family though, right? And on the light side, the same thing can apply. So the dark being might end up being more light, the light being might end up being more dark, etc., etc., right? And I find that so fascinating because you really can't tell anybody how to be. You can only be your best self. And the people that will understand that and the people that will gain something from that will, right? The people that will gain something from you being your authentic self, they will come to you and they will flock to you. You don't have to tell nobody how to be. You don't have to teach nobody how to be. You just have to be you just have to be the role model you authentically want to see. And it will reflect itself back to you. People will come to you, people will see that and start emulating that. You will start drawing in that dream reality, right? So that's one thing I'm learning too as a dark being was because I'm learning that it's okay to be unliked. And I am dark and not everybody's gonna like that, right? On any side. But I'm like a Raven type of character, dark, right? And it's a little more complex than that. But essentially I'm like a Raven type of dark, right? I love my dark. I love darkness. I don't even shame any aspect of the evilness or goodness. Right? But I understand that because of how I am, that a lot of people just either completely might not like it or they just in general um might not understand it, right? And or get it, and that's okay. I understand that being dark, we have to accept we are the most likely to be unliked, and we have to accept that, right? We have to accept that, and it doesn't matter because us, as long as we're authentic in that, we'll draw in people who get it, right? We'll draw in people who are of the same frequency and alignment. They might not be the exact same as you, but they'll be of the same cosmic family group, right? So it's all that matters. And yeah, your family is what you make of it, essentially, at the end of the day. And not everybody's meant to be light, not everybody's meant to be dark, And you got some beings that are completely outside of that, in a way, at the same time, right? And you might have some beings that are outside of that at the same time, also inside of that. Excuse me, and a part of it all. So that's really what I want to come here to say. I spoke a lot about nothing at the beginning, I think. But that's what I wanted to say. Like, I think it's just so fascinating because it just shows the convoluted nature of everything, right? And for me personally, I lean more towards that dark side of the family, right? I've always wanted a mob father, right? A mob family who did dark magic. That's just me. Maybe one day I'll find a group, a coven where we're like connected like that. You know what I'm saying? Or they might have a mob family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always wanted to be connected like that. And I really just like fantasize being a part of that. And like we're doing dark magic, dark rituals, and we're hosting like sex parties, and we're very comfortable with our sexuality, our new bodies. We're taught the evolution, right? How to evolve your consciousness and all that stuff. But we threw it through darkness, right? We evolved through the darkness, not the light. And that's another thing too, is like a lot of us dark beings were traumatized and are traumatized by the light. I liked to call that light supremacy. It's called light supremacy. It's where you are so succumbed to the light. You think light is right, right? You think light is the best. You think anything associated with light is the purest and it's the best. And for us dark beings who don't realize that we're dark beings, that is so traumatizing and harmful and dangerous for us as dark beings because we're all not light. A lot of us dark beings have forgotten that. I was one of those. It wasn't until literally like 6 months ago I realized that I was 8 months ago that I realized that I was a dark being. Right in 2025, it was like I don't know, um, sometime after March, I want to say, 2025, and we're in 2026 in January. So regardless, the number doesn't really matter. But it was recent until I realized that I was of the underworld and that I'm a dark being, right? And it was even more recently where I started speaking like this, right? And I keep saying right. Sorry about that. Right? Let me stop. Yeah. So we forget that a lot of us aren't meant to evolve through the light. Some of us are meant to evolve through the darkness. If however that looks for you is personal. You understand? It's personal.
Yeah.
Everybody that evolves through the darkness, it won't look the exact same, and that's valid. It's not supposed to. If you are an imaginary being, part of the true and pure imagination, then every part of you won't look the exact same. It'll look different. It'll have many faces, right? We understand this. So that's another message that I want to get out to my dark beings. Like you are dark. Like I have a video called "You Are Dark," and that's okay because you are dark, and that's okay. You're supposed to be. Look right here. You are dark, and that's okay. You are supposed to be dark, girl. Be dark. Be dark. I just realized I should have added him in the video, but it's whatever. You are dark, and that's okay.
It's wrong. That's not what I was saying.
Because everybody can't evolve or doesn't evolve properly through the light. I was so fucked up trying to evolve the light path. Y'all, when I tell you the trauma that I had to undo was one of the biggest traumas that I had to undo. Was dealing with I'm not light. Was dealing with I'm not light. Was dealing with the fact that as a sorry, I have a toothpick in my mouth. Um, was that how far am I at talking? How long have I been talking? Oh, 41 minutes. I'm so long winded. Um, as far like the biggest traumas that I've had to undo was light, being light traumatized, light supremacy, being so overwhelmed with the light, thinking it's the only way. I literally had no concept of other ways to evolve my consciousness other than the light because everybody only talks about the light, which the light isn't bad. And yes, a lot of beings, right, are more so of the light alignment, and that's just it is what it is. That's not bad or good. It's just chemistry. However, however, there are. Oh, I think the Bismol's coming through, y'all. Let me see if I have to fart. Sorry, TMI. Um,
I feel
oh, we
like
should pause the video, huh? Hold on, y'all.
if you were to put witch into
Oh my
YouTube,
god.
you're not seeing everyone.
Okay, so I just I didn't have to do anything yet, but I forgot that I was dehydrated, so I drank a whole bunch of water just a second ago. Um, I forget to drink water, y'all. It's bad. Uh, and it literally tells you that make sure you drink plenty of clear liquids or clear fluids just so you won't get dehydrated. It's said because of diarrhea, but in general, taking stuff like Pepto-Bismol or like stuff to help you pass gas, it can dry out your system. Period. But yeah, like supremacy was one of the things that I had to heal because I had to understand that I'm of the underworld. I am naturally a dark being. So I evolve through darkness, not the light. It doesn't mean that light isn't a part of me. We're, like I said, yin and yang. The dark is in the light, the light's in the dark. And it doesn't mean that, like, I don't have any other parts to me, but I am predominantly a dark being. So, predominantly, the way I'm going to understand and train and evolve and gain gnosis and power is through the darkness. It is what it is. And some people, right? If they're a light being and they try to be too dark, it can make them sick. We've seen in so many shows where the character uses dark magic and they end up getting sick from the dark magic, right? Or if they'll use dark magic, if they're dark alignment, they use dark magic, it can seriously fuck them up or kill them, and vice versa, right? We, oh my god, y'all, I gotta hurry up and go. Oh my god, I'm in pain. Um, but today is just a fuck day, I guess, girl. But yeah, everybody's not meant to be like. You're only supposed to operate from your authentic nature, right? And whatever that is whatever it is to you and your experience. Stop being programmed by the light, right? And for you light beings out there who aren't supposed to be dark bitches, stop cosplaying us. Stop cosplaying us. You're not gonna gain your full power from the darkness if you are a predominantly light being, and vice versa, right? That's why being authentic in your nature and finding what that means to you is a crucial component in that. Because to even understand which polarity you play on, if you play on any polarity, you have to find your highest, truest, authentic nature. Because you, even you, in the form that you're in now, have a function and a purpose in the cosmos, in the cosmic dream, right? We call reality, we call life. So, oh, I can feel the gas going through, y'all. Sorry, I'm going crazy right now. So, yeah, um, because ultimately, at the highest level, there is no such thing as shame or guilt or polarity. So, the only reason why it's polarity down here is because we need to be able to see it. But that's it. It just serves polarity just serves a different function down here than it does up there. But there is no such thing as polarity for real, for real. Everything's all made up and imaginary. You're not even real. We're all imaginary beings who don't exist. So get the fuck over it. So yeah, my y'all, it's coming through me. I'm about to go. I love y'all. See y'all. Oh, I got a shit. Bye. Stay safe. Stay dark. Stay true to your authentic nature.